in the name of Allah, the most kind and the most merciful. A loud salawat. I apologize for the late start today due to our reciters didn't reach, but alhamdulillah they are all here. And I thank for all the audience who attended on time, and some of our guests are still on the way. So I'd now like to pass on to Brother Tejani, who will recite Ziyad al-Shura with the loud salawat.
عبد الله الحسين افلح من صلى على محمد وآل محمد. Before we begin, inshallah, if I could ask you just to fill up the gaps as much as you can. We are expecting further people to arrive, so please do stand up and try and shuffle forward as far as you can, inshallah. على حب فاطمة الزهراء صلى على محمد وآل محمد. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد وعجل فرجهم والعن عادهم. السلام عليك يا أبا عبد الله. السلام عليك يا ابن رسول الله. السلام عليك يا ابن أمير المؤمنين وابن سيد الوصيين. السلام عليك يا ابن فاطمة سيدة النساء العالمين. السلام عليك يا ثار الله وابن ثاره والوتر الموسوم. السلام عليك وعلى الأرواح التي حلت بفنائك. عليكم مني جميعا سلام الله أبدا ما بقيت وبقي الليل والنهار. يا أبا عبد الله لقد عظمت الرزية وجلت وعظمت المصيبة بك علينا وعلى جميع أهل الإسلام. وجلت وعظمت مصيبتك في السماوات على جميع أهل السماوات. فلعن الله أمة أسست أساس الظلم والجور عليكم أهل البيت. ولعن الله أمة دفعتكم عن مقامكم وأزالتكم عن مراتبكم التي رتبكم الله فيها. ولعن الله أمة قتلتكم. ولعن الله الممهدين لهم بالتمكين من قتالكم. برئتم إلى الله وإليكم منهم ومن أشياعهم وأتباعهم وأوليائهم. يا أبا عبد الله إني سلم لمن سالمكم وحرب لمن حاربكم إلى يوم القيامة. ولعن الله آل زياد وآل مروان. ولعن الله بني أمية قاطبة. ولعن الله ابن مرجان. ولعن الله عمر بن السعد. ولعن الله الشمرة. ولعن الله أمة أسرجت وألجمت وتنقبت لقتالك. بأبي أنت وأمي لقد عظم مصابي بك، فأسأل الله الذي أكرم مقامك وأكرمني بك أن يرزقني طلب فارك مع إمام منصور من أهل بيت محمد صلى الله عليه وآله. اللهم اجعلني عندك وجيها بالحسين عليه السلام في الدنيا والآخرة. يا أبا عبد الله إني أتقرب إلى الله وإلى رسوله وإلى أمير المؤمنين وإلى فاطمة وإلى الحسن وإليك بموالاتك وبالبراءة ممن قاتلك ونصب لك الحرب، وبالبراءة ممن أسس أساس الظلم والجور عليكم، وأبرأوا إلى الله وإلى رسوله ممن أسس أساس ذلك وبنى عليه بنيانه وجرى في ظلمه وجوره عليكم وعلى أشياعكم. برئت إلى الله وإليكم منهم وأتقرب إلى الله، ثم إليكم بموالاتكم وموالاة وليكم والبراءة من أعدائكم والناصبين لكم الحرب، وبالبراءة من أشياعهم وأتباعهم. إني سلم لمن سال لكم وحرب لمن حاربكم وولي لمن والاكم وعدو لمن عاداكم. فأسأل الله الذي أكرمني بمعرفتكم ومعرفة أوليائكم ورزقني البراءة من أعدائكم من يجعلني معكم في الدنيا والآخرة، وأن يثبت لي عندكم قدم صدق في الدنيا والآخرة. وأسأله أن يبلغنا المقام المحمود لكم عند الله، وأن يرزقني طلب فار مع إمام هدى ظاهر ناطق بالحق منكم. وأسأل الله بحقكم وبالشأن الذي لكم عنده أن يعطيني بمصابي بكم أفضل ما يعطي مصابا مصيبة ما أعظمها وأعظم رزيتها في الإسلام وفي جميع السماوات والأرض. اللهم اجعلني في مقامي هذا ممن تناله منك صلوات ورحمة ومغفرة. اللهم اجعل محياي محيا محمد وآل محمد ومماتي ممات محمد وآل محمد. اللهم إن هذا يوم تبركت به بنو أمية وابن آكلة الأكباد، اللعين ابن اللعين على لسانك ولسان نبيك صلى الله عليه وآله في كل موطن وموقف وقف فيه نبيك صلى الله عليه وآله. اللهم لعن أبا سفيان ومعاوية ويزيد بن معاوية عليهم منك اللعنة أبد الآبدين. وهذا يوم فرحت به آل زياد وآل مروان بقتلهم الحسين صلوات الله عليه. اللهم فضائف عليهم اللعنة منك والعذاب الأليم. اللهم إني أتقرب إليك في هذا اليوم وفي موقف هذا وأيام حياتي بالبراءة منهم واللعنة عليهم بموالاة لنبيك وآل نبيك عليه وعليهم السلام. اللهم لعن أول ظالم ظلم حق محمد وآل محمد وآخر تابع له على ذلك. اللهم لعن الإصابة التي جاهدت الحسين وشايعت وبايعت وتابعت على قتله. اللهم لعنهم جميعا. السلام عليك يا أبا عبد الله وعلى الأرواح التي حلت بفنائك. عليكم مني عليك مني سلام الله أبدا ما بقيت وبقي الليل والنهار ولا جعله الله آخر العهد مني لزيارتكم. السلام على الحسين وعلى علي بن الحسين وعلى أولاد الحسين وعلى أصحاب الحسين. اللهم خص أنت أول ظالم اللعن مني وابدأ به أولا ثم الثانية والثالثة والرابع. اللهم لعن يزيد خامسا ولعن عبيد الله بن زياد وابن مرجان وعمر بن سعد والشمران وآل أبي سفيان وآل زياد وآل مروان إلى يوم القيامة. لا يحدثك إن شاء الله. اللهم لك الحمد حمد الشاكرين لك على مصابهم. الحمد لله على عظيم رزيته. اللهم ارزقني شفاعة الحسين يوم الورود وثبت لي قدم صدق عندك مع الحسين وأصحاب الحسين الذين بذلوا وهجهم دون الحسين عليه السلام. وصل اللهم على سيدنا ونبينا محمد وعلى آله الطاهرين. With that 3 salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. The perfect 14 for us to be guided by towards this religion of Islam by which Imam Husain traveled to Karbala solely for the reason to upkeep the religion of his grandfather Nabiullah Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wa sallam. For those of you who have attended the evening of Proof and Sorrow in previous years, you may find my introduction a little repetitive, so forgive me. But I do this for those of you who perhaps it's your first time at this event, so I can give you a bit of an intro as to where it's come from, what it's all about, and inshallah how you can connect on this night. One side note is that during this evening, you'll notice that our introductions to each of our speakers will be very minimal in terms of talking about their qualities. But as I'm sure you all know, they are reciters that are not absent to our brains, rather they're those who have been pushing the aza in the language of English for many a year now. So if you find that the introductions for them are a little bit short-handed, the sole reason is this. And that is that because tonight, our sole purpose is for us to look within and revive that flame. You know, when you travel to a country, you go on holiday. Let's say you go on holiday to Spain or to Italy, a non-Muslim country. And perhaps you're in a hotel and maybe you come across a Muslim, and after further dialogue you come to realize that actually he's a Shia. Or for example, you're at university, you're in the prayer room, and you're there, you're praying, and you see the person next to you has a turba, and you have that little, oh, I actually want to speak to him or her. Or you're in the airport. Or wherever you are, regardless of your language, regardless of your skin color, regardless of how you speak, whatever it is, if you see them praying with a turba, if you see them with a ring that looks like it's from a Shia, if you see them in qunut in their salah, you have this flame within you that makes you want to go to them and say, Assalamu alaikum, I too am a Shia of Ali ibn Abi Talib. And all of a sudden, language is transcended. Culture is transcended. Formalities are gone. You have no idea what they're like as a person. You have no idea if you have anything in common, but the one thing you do have in common is the wilayah of Ali ibn Abi Talib, and that's all that is needed. So that flame that encourages you to go and speak to them, that gives you this notion of strength and desire to engage in conversation, is that same flame that your mothers gave to you when you were born. At that time when you heard the word Muharram, when you heard the word Ashura, when you heard of the land of Karbala, you immediately put your head down and think, oh, those are heavy words. Our objective tonight is to rekindle that flame if it is extinguished, or to add fuel to it so it burns within you to an extent, so that on the day of judgment you're able to hold your head towards Sayyidah Fatima and say, oh mistress, I lamented for your family, so save me from the fire of hell. And this program was initiated to do this solely in the language of English. Many of you may have a native tongue, Arabic, Farsi, Punjabi, Urdu. For some of us, we don't. And it's tough to connect to points with the eloquent words of poetry that the poet has carefully said, I'm going to use that word instead of this word because it will capture the imagination of this. And we never get to appreciate that. So this night is one where perhaps our native tongue in English can connect to our souls, to our imagination, and to our minds. And that's its sole purpose. I sincerely thank our dear brothers and sisters here in Newport for holding the Majlis this year for us. I know last year we were unable to hold it here just at the last moment due to some logistical issues, but this year we've managed to make it happen, and subhanAllah, to see so many of you who have travelled from I don't know how far. I know there was one youngster who travelled from London and taken a coach from Bristol along the way. Whatever your journey is, be it 2 minutes or 2.5 hours, whatever it may be, may Allah bless you for attending, and may this be a night that's not just like any other majlis. What do I mean? I mean this, that when the Masa'ib is being recited of Aba Abdullah, tears potentially start to roll down your cheek, or perhaps you feel a level of somber, of sadness. It's at that very moment, perhaps as that first tear glides down your cheek and drops into your lap, that your heart has become just that little bit softer, that's going to enable you to say, Assalamu alayka ya Aba Abdullah, let me come and visit you in 15 days for your Arba'iniyya visitation. It could be that very moment where you get to wa alaykum assalam, you're more than welcome. Or it could be like any other evening for you, any other Saturday night for you, any other evening where you've travelled from far or near and you go home and nothing much has changed.
It's a decision for you as to whether you want this evening to be one that could genuinely be the start of a transformation, that could genuinely be the start of a new journey, that could be the start or the continuation of your ascension through the seven skies, if you connect with someone special this evening, be it Sayyid Ruqayya, be it Rabab, be it whoever that your heart calls to this evening, if you live by their every principle and pledge that on this night, only Allah knows where you could end up. It's a decision for you to make at this very second, not tomorrow, not 2 days, not 3 days, not next year, right now. Either you make the intention that I leave my stress outside, that I leave my political differences aside, that I leave all my worries, my debts, my family, my safety, whatever, I leave it outside, because tonight, as Husein gave everything for Allah, I'm going to give everything for Husein tonight. Make the intention. Remove shaitan from the equation. Make it pure and sincere. And I end with this before we welcome our first reciter, inshallah. And that is not to be embarrassed. Embarrassed? What? Embarrassed? It's not to be embarrassed. If you feel that you're holding back your sadness, if you feel you're holding back your grief, if you feel you're holding from the side that weep, let it flow, let go. Because you know what? Perhaps you find it easier to lament and weep for Abu Abdullah than the person next to you. And perhaps for their spiritual ascension, they need to be encouraged by the person next to them, and you could be part of their journey towards the seven skies. If they hear you, perhaps it'll strike something within them. So tonight we don't hold back. Tonight we hold nothing except love and passion and absolute admiration for Abu Abdullah and his dear family who are with him. And with that, inshallah, we welcome our first reciter, Brother Imran Datu, with a salawat with the top of your voices. Aflaha man salla ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
Narae Takbir, Narae Risalat, Narae Haidari, Husainiyat, Yazidiyat, Al-Bad Dushman al-Lana, Narae Salawat.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان اللعين الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. My dear brothers, my scholars and my sisters, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Firstly, I would like to thank the organizing team for inviting me here today, and it's an absolute honor to be here in front of you as part of this amazing annual event. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reward you for your continued efforts, inshallah, ameen. And reward the community of Newport, because as far as I can remember, every single evening of grief and sorrow event, wherever in the country it has been, it is admirable to see that the community of Newport, the youth of Newport are always present. And that in itself deserves a loud salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. You know, they say whenever you attend a majalis of Abu Abdullah Husain or any of the Ahlul Bayt alayhim as-salam, that they are here with us. They are sat amongst us. In any of these gaps you see or anywhere else in the center, Sayyidah Zahra is with us. Rasulullah is with us. Sayyidah Zainab, the Shuhada of Karbala, all are with us. But I ask you, my dear brothers and sisters, I ask you, what state do we imagine that they are in? What state are the Shuhada of Karbala in? Is Abbas sat amongst us? looking at our arms when he has no arms. Is a Husein sat amongst us, listening to us cry over the tragedy of his family. Are the women of Karbala sat amongst us? Are they looking at our women who are comfortably sat in their hijab? Are they sat amongst us with nothing covering their heads? My dear brothers and sisters, I ask you to think about the one personality I will be reciting about tonight. What about little Sakina? Is she sat amongst us with bruises on her cheeks, on her father's chest? Or is she sitting in the corner, hiding from Yazid's men, who will do nothing but cause her harm? Ya Sakina, whenever I think of Karbala, Sakina, I recall your name. Sakina, I recall your name. A cry of an orphan in pain. Sakina, I recall your name. Sakina, I recall your name. Think about the chest of Abu Abdullah al-Husayn. When do we know of it being unoccupied? But that Sakina would be there every night. Sakina, the bond with your father Husein is blessed. Daily on your father's chest lies your head pressed. The sound of his lonely heartbeat. Sakina, I recall your name. Sakina, I recall your name. We are told that Imam Husain alayhi salam used to say that a house without Sakina would not be worth living in. Little did we know what happened to the house of Sakina. A house without Sakina would not be worth living in. Your father would say this when he felt your warmth within. When your house becomes a cold jail, Sakina, I recall your name. Sakina, I recall your name. Al-Atash, Al-Atash was the cries that we heard from the Sakina for 3 days. But the cry fell upon deaf ears. But Abbas came to her and made a promise. The promise that Abbas made still rings in your ears. Never did you think that his arms would meet spears. When hope leaves hopeful Sakina, I recall your name. Sakina, I recall your name. Bring yourselves to the day after Imam al-Husain has been beheaded, and we know of this scene. We are told in our majalis that Sakina was still thirsty, and one day she was so thirsty she started crying, and who saw her? None other than Shimr. Your dry tongue that hangs out was seen by Shimr's eyes. He showed you water, then threw it when he saw you rise. The tongue that sleeps thirsty, Sakina, I recall your name. Sakina, I recall your name. Take your mind to Sham-e-Ghariba, where Yazid and his men would chase the women to cause nothing but harm to them, and they would be given the orders to set alight their tents. Daughters of Muhammad, daughters of Muhammad, Yazid would shout as he would hunt. In fear the women from tent to tent would run. The sound of slaps on frail skin. Sakina, I recall your name. Sakina, I recall your name. On the horizon, your brothers and uncles lay in search of the one who was killed like child's play. What you seek cannot be found. Sakina, I recall your name. Sakina, I recall your name. We have been told in narrations that Sakina had been through so much, and she passed away at the age of 4 or 5. But the trauma that she had been through left her looking like an old woman. The veil snatched from your head, they pushed you on the streets of Sham. How much you've been through, for them awaits Jahannam. You look old at the age of 5. Sakina, I recall your name. Sakina, I recall your name. During some majalis, some mu'mineen are so lucky that they get to experience the miracles. Sometimes we hear that they see fresh blood coming from the alam of Abbas. Sometimes we hear that the women of Karbala Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala through the intercession of Bibi Sakina. Through your intercession we ask, Ya Allah, through the wasila of an orphan, Bibi Sakina, please protect all the other orphans around the world and give them patience, give them sabr. Ya Allah, through the intercession of Bibi Sakina, those who are ill, grant them a quick recovery. Ya Allah, through the intercession of Bibi Sakina, salamullahi alayh, those who do not have children but are wanting children, Ya Allah, grant them the purest of children on the path of the Ahlul Bayt, on the path of Sayyida Ruqayya. Bar Muhammad wa Ali Muhammad, salawat.
Keep the introduction short between each, but I leave you with this. We hear about Sayyida Ruqayya salamullahi alayha, and we know, just picture a 3-year-old, a 4-year-old in your family, a young daughter, a young sister, a young cousin, whatever it may be to you. They love attention. They love being squeezed. They love being held. They love being kissed. They love being surrounded by people giving them attention. And I ask you this, why are we here and not with her anymore? How easy it was once upon a time to head to Sham. How easy it was. How we took it for granted. May Allah grant us the visitation of Sayyida Ruqayya and Sayyida Zainab salamullahi alayha. Oh Sayyida Ruqayya, we wish we could be with you at this moment. And with each of these tears that we drop, we pledge to you our betterment in our souls, inshaAllah. We welcome our next dear reciter, Brother Husein Rajabali wa salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
Inshallah, tonight I would like to recite 2 pieces of poetry. The first has a short introduction in Farsi, which I would like to translate for you all today. Before I begin, I would also like to pay respect and thanks to the poets, Mullah Ammar Rashid and Brother Husein Birji. Salat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. I have called out your name with every breath, and I am afraid of my stature going down in your eyes. You have given a dead man new life because you have given me permission to serve you. You are the base of my dreams. You are my deen, you are my world. And when I die, write this on my grave. My world, my master. Ya Allah, allow my life to be like his. Because I cry for him and I know he cries for me, my master. Salawat ala Muhammad wa مالك هر نفسم اسم تو گفتم منی که هر نفسم اسم تو گفتم نکنه یه روزی از چشات بیفتم به من ماده جون تازه دادی برا نوکری به من علم رویای من دین من دنیای من بنویسید روی سنگ قبر من دنیای من آقای من اللهم اجعل محیای من دنیای من آقای من اللهم اجعل محیای من من برای تو گریه می کنم تو برای من آقای من آقای من I am the dust beneath the dust of your land I am a beggar to you I'm reaching my hand You are the sun behind the clouds Though far you are near Even if I don't see you I know you are there And I'm shaking as I come Under the deeds I have done Full of shame but you won't turn from anyone So I'm at your door I'm at your door And I am knocking, pleading let me into your remorse I'm at your door I'm at your door And I am knocking, pleading let me into your remorse Please don't turn away from me You're my only hope My only hope I am here to see the moon in all its glory I am here again to listen to your story I am here to close my eyes for a moment and drift away in a far-off memory of that holy day. They say death surrounded you. They say death surrounded you. But still I'll come running to you to be with the millions of lovers who came. They call your name, they call your name. Everywhere I look, I see people crying, Ya Husein. They call your name, they call your name. Everywhere I look, I see people crying, Ya Husein. With their hands beating their hearts and their hearts beat Husein. For you Husein, for you Husein. Brothers, bow your heads. There is a night when the moon tries to stretch its day. There is a day where the sun shies away. The wind is still, so it doesn't carry the cries of the thirsty children telling their fathers goodbye. Akbar has fought and been slain. Qasim trampled on the plains. And Abbas is by for aught, he has no arms. Oh, but he must grow. Allah, qad qutila al-Husain bi Karbala. Allah, qad dhubiha al-Husain bi Karbala. Husain al-Gharib, al-Gharib, al-Husain, Husain al-Shaheed, al-Shaheed al-Husain. All together. Husain al-Gharib, al-Gharib, al-Husain, Husain al-Shaheed, al-Shaheed al-Husain. Salams on the head of my Mawla Husain. Salams on the lips of the blessed Husain. For days in the desert your body remained. With thousands of arrows your shroud they became. And on Al-Bain where the millions will pray, the grief and the mourning for you, Ya Husain, Husain al-Gharib, Husain al-Shaheed, al-Shaheed. The screams of the children thirsty for water. The duty was sent to Abbas, our Savior. The Lion of God could be seen riding faster to reach Al-Furat and to please his Sakina. But how does he fall from the horse with no hands? But how does he fall from the horse with no hands? The flag of Islam lying bare on the sand. Husain al-Gharib, al-Gharib, al-Husain, Husain al-Shaheed. A lady was seen peering out from the tents, a cry from the heavens that Zahra presents. Oh shimmer, why on his chest? The sword stained in blood was Hussein's final test. Hussein, to your mother, it's time to ascend. Your trials in Karbala have come to an end. Hussein al-Gharib, al-Gharib, al-Husain, Husain al-Shaheed, the fire, the burning, the tents up in flames. Oh Zainab, protect Imam Ali ibn Husain. The soldiers of Yazid want to beat us with chains. The women and children are crying in vain. Oh Baba Ali, oh Baba Ali, please come back and defend us. Your children are waiting for you to return. Husain al-Gharib, al-Gharib, al-Husain, Husain al-Shaheed. Sakina would cry every night for her father, and Zainab would cradle Hussein's little daughter. But when they presented his hand Sakina, and no one could comfort and soothe young Sakina. She died in the prison, her grieving had killed her. Husein al-Gharib al-Gharib al-Husein, Husein al-Shaheed al-Shaheed al-Husein, Husein al-Gharib al-Gharib al-Husein, Husein al-Shaheed al-Shaheed al-Husein. Salawatullah
for your love, for your passion, for your grief. May it continue to grow forevermore. May it be instilled within your family and your family to come, inshallah. I ask you this, in that recitation we hear that that final test of Husein is when he is on the floor and the crime is about to be committed on his chest. I ask you this, if that situation was the toughest, then tell me, how did Husein bear that moment when Ali al-Akbar's horse took him towards the enemy's camp defenseless and he was chopped into pieces, Ali al-Akbar? How is it that when Husein, his own father, would return, that he would see this cut up body of his dear son, the one who represented Nabi Allah in his mannerisms, in the tone of his voice, in his physicality? How did he see the resemblance of Rasulullah among the floor in pieces and then have to pick up each piece and return him to his mother? Assalamu alayka ya Aba Abdillah. And how did the mother receive that body? May Allah bless your tears, may Allah accept them, inshallah. We welcome our next dear reciter, Brother Nouri Sardar, with the salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
Nare takbir, Nare risalat, Ya Rasulullah, Nare Haidari, Ya Ali, Husainiya, Zindabad, Zindabad, Yazidiyat, Murdabad, Abbas dushman pe lana, Beshmar, Muhammad Bulantar salawat. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala
For the love of Abdullah Husain alayhi salam, for the love of his half-brother, Abu Fadhil Abbas, and for the hastening grandparents of our beloved 12th Imam, can I please get 3 loud salawats? Today, inshallah, I'm going to narrate to you 2 of the hardest and 2 of the most heartbreaking tragedies of Karbala. 2 tragedies that really touch each and every single one of our hearts. And the first, without a doubt, is the death of our master, our beloved Abu Fadhil Abbas, the father of virtues. And we know well of his story, but I don't want to take you to the end of his story, because his story is not just only there on that day. The story of Abbas begins with his very birth. And today, it's when he sits beside his mother, al-Baneen. As we all know, al-Baneen, Ali married her on the sole basis that she would provide him with children who would stand and defend Imam Husain on the day of Ashura. And here, the mother al-Baneen is teaching her son how to pray.
But she's not teaching him to pray the same way that we pray. The same way that our mothers taught us how to pray. The same way that she teaches the rest of us how to pray. She's teaching him how to pray in Karbala. And why is it different? Because when Abbas prays in Karbala, he'll be praying without any hands. She says, my Abbas, whenever you pray, I want you to ask Allah to protect Husein. But don't raise your hands when you make your dua to prepare yourself for prayer in Karbala. My son Abbas, you are young, but now today, I'm going to teach you, my beloved, how to pray. The rest of us, we raise our hands and our palms face the sky. Don't do that, Abbas, because you'll make the angels cry. When we have dreams, Allah we call. You pray for Husein, and that is all. Whenever you're in need, you pray for your brother to prepare yourself for prayer in Karbala. When you wake up for your Fajr prayer and your Lord you call, ask Allah to make Husein's morning be peaceful. And when Dhuhr prayer calls your name, O Abu Fadhil, you ask Allah to make Husein's evening blissful. Ask Allah every single day, O Allah, don't let my brother feel thirsty. I beg you, my son, every single day say this prayer to prepare yourself for prayer in Karbala. My son Abbas, when we pray, we raise our hands. But you don't copy us, Abbas. And be sure that your Lord, He understands. Why? Because when you raise your hands, you'll hear crying the heavens. When you raise your hands, my Abbas, you'll hear crying the heavens. Why? Because your hands, they smell just like the scent of Karbala sands. Every single morning I kiss your hands, saying Subhanallah, they plan and Allah plans. Learn to use your elbows to hold your banner, to prepare yourself for prayer in Karbala. My son Abbas, we ask Allah when we're in need. And one day people will turn to you to intercede. Our Lord is the one who says, be and it shall be. I spend nights begging my Lord. I spend nights begging my Lord. Keep safe my Husein. Please, Allah, take all of my children. Just let no pain ever reach him. Ask Allah to take your soul and leave his here to prepare yourself for prayer in Karbala. My tears, they soak the ground whenever I prostrate, beseeching. They flow like a river. Where I see you crouching, I see for the water your two hands are reaching. And for you not to drink, my son, I spent years praying. My Abbas, don't let me down. Throw that water where it was found. I taught you to offer all others water to prepare yourself for prayer in Karbala. Oh my son Abbas, when you do fall in Karbala, raise your two handless arms and pray towards Allah. Tell him, oh Allah, I've spent my life praying for my brother, but now I have a wish from my own desire. Oh Allah, before I am slain, let me once again see my beloved Husein. Try to use your arms to wipe the blood from your eyes, to prepare yourself for prayer in Karbala, to prepare yourself for prayer in Karbala. My Abbas, whenever you pray, ask Allah to protect Husein, but don't raise your hands when you make your dua to prepare yourself for prayer in Karbala. Ra Muhammad wa Ali Muhammad salawat. For the love of Marcin, can I please get a second louder salawat? We are so grateful, so honored and so blessed to be among those who sit here and mourn the tragedy of Imam Husayn alayhi salam. It's almost as if our tears soothe the tears of Sayyidina Zayn alayhi salam, and how much our eyes had to see on that day. SubhanAllah, I hope Allah forgives me for saying this, but when Sayyidina Zainab says, when she's asked about Karbala, I saw nothing but beauty, I think to myself sometimes, oh my leader, my lady Zainab, what beauty did you see when the arrow struck the neck of Ali Asghar? A tragedy that breaks the heart so much. In fact, they say, one part of the tragedy that really breaks my heart is that when Haramala shot the three-pronged arrow into the neck of Ali Asghar, He says, the thing that broke my heart, paraphrasing, the thing that broke my heart is that I saw his little arms waving back and forth. And I tell Sayyidah Zainab, O Zainab, Asghar's crib, by our hand shall forever keep on swaying. Our infants, they only exist to soothe Asghar's thirst with their tears and crying. So don't fear if you see from thirst he is crying. So don't fear if you see from thirst he is dying. Because we have centuries of tears that he can drink. O Zainab, O Zainab, by the rib of your mother that with your ears you heard break, like that sound beckons shrouds. The cries of the thirsty child keep us awake. Yes, I know that your soul, when hearing him from your throat, it wants to escape. But don't lament this infant. His tale does not end with thirst sealing his fate. Vessels burst when his thirst shall be quenched by the blood of his own neck. Only then, from the pain, the cries of this thirsty child you shall forget. Woe to those who ask how we are still crying. We have centuries of tears. We have centuries of tears that this baby can drink. O Zainab, tell Rabab to prolong her lullabies into the night. Yes, it's hard. From the first, Asghar no longer knows what his mother looks like. Let her sing, it won't end. Beating our chests, her lullabies we shall recite. Let her gaze at his eyes, because tomorrow from grief her pupils might turn white. O Rabab, know Yaqub, from losing Yusuf for mere years he lost his sight. But be careful, because tomorrow what you see may make you want to tear out both your eyes. After him, is there any use seeing? O Zainab, I beg you, to the thirsty child, don't let Abbas come. O Zainab, I beg you, to the thirsty child, don't let Abbas come. We both know that Asghar's thirst will make the veins in Abbas's head explode. Hear the sword, how it calls the ground to prepare for thousands of abodes. Like cattle, men shall fall if Abbas becomes deaf. Only if Husein would just tell him, go. O Zainab, I don't want Asghar to feel the warmth of Abbas's hands. Why? Because when the arrow strikes his neck, he'll call out for his uncle's hands. Tell him when you see his arms fluttering, that we have centuries of tears that he can drink. Oh Zainab, don't despair. If you don't see Husein glance at this infant, there is no strength and no courage strong enough to prepare him for this event. Know that when he holds him, he'll age hundreds of years just from the torment. And when he takes Asghar there to the enemy, he'll reach them with a grey beard and his back bent. Oh Zainab, the infant does not know what it feels like to feel such pain. And when the arrow strikes his neck, he'll forget that he's in the arms of his father Husein. Asghar won't hear his own father crying. The time comes, Husein's son is raised by his father's one hand to the sky. And he asks the army, is it just that this 6-month-old's tongue is dry? You've taught him what thirst is. He's so thirsty that no more tears can flow from his eye. They responded with a 3-pronged, and it strikes his head. And Husein throws his blood to the sky. Oh Zainab, we don't weep. Asghar's killing makes the strands of our soul ache. Why? Listen to this. What father can ever bear to hear the bones of his baby's neck break? What father can ever bear to hear the bones of his baby's neck break? From this infant's neck, Muhammad is weeping. Oh Zainab, perhaps it is better that Ali al-Asghar has met his Lord. No baby's eyes should see whatever happens after his father draws his sword. The arrows all over him, as if the taste of blood they adored. When Husein fell, where was he? I ask you where his mind traveled. Is Asghar not lucky? not to see his father ridden with arrows. Yes, his neck is spilled blood. From 1700 wounds, Hussein's blood flows. We have, Asghar will not hear Hussein's bones crushing. Oh Zainab, when you leave, do not fear that Hussein hasn't been laid to rest. All the bodies, when they're buried, shall purify the dust and make this land blessed. When Sajjad shall return, his father's dead body shall be in distress. From his neck, Hussein shall cry, the baby, put the baby on my chest. My master, I ask you, what chest was left to rest the baby upon? My master, I ask you, what chest was left to rest the baby upon? You lay him and Asghar falls and the two torn up bodies, they become one. My master, I ask you, what chest was left to rest the baby upon? You lay him and Asghar falls and the two torn up bodies, they become one. Where does Asghar end and where does Hussein begin? We have centuries of tears that he can drink, so I tell you, my lady, oh Sayyidah Zainab, oh Zainab, Asghar's crib by our hands shall forever keep on swaying. Our infants, they only exist to soothe Asghar's thirst with their tears and crying. Don't fear if you see from thirst he's dying, because we have centuries of tears that Asghar can drink. Oh my Zainab, oh my Zainab, Bar Muhammad wa Ali Muhammad Let's get a second round of salawat, please. For the brothers to come forward, especially to my right, please come as close as you can. Sallallahu ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. As close as you can, guys, come on. Make space for people behind you. Stand up, guys, come on, as close as you can. Sallallahu ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. A second for the love of Abba Abdullah. And a third to soothe the tears of Rabab, the mother of Ali al-Asghar. I'd like to truly thank the organizers, the brothers of Newport, and as well as Brother Sadiq for helping organize this wonderful, wonderful majlis. I remember, and some of the sides in the back, Ali Fowler, for example, remember as well. The first event, or the second event, I believe it was in Portsmouth over 10 years ago. And Sadiq, may Allah bless him, and his family took it upon himself to make sure this event continues every single year in English. And I've especially been honored, and I'm so grateful to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for allowing me the honor to stand here and recite to you these almost meaningless words in honor of Ahlul Bayt alayhim salam. And I'm so grateful to have been reciting a poem and concluding with a poem about the Ziyar of Arba'in every single year. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless all those who are going toward Karbala for the Ziyarat al-Arba'in. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless all those who yearn to be in Karbala for the Ziyarat al-Arba'in. And if you're sitting here and you yourself felt you have been denied this Ziyarat, then I ask you sincerely to make your intention, if not for this year, then for next year, to stand beside the grave of Husain alayhi salam. As we know, the hadith are numerous, and there's no need for me to stand here and narrate to you the greatness of Karbala, because every Shia, every lover of Ahlul Bayt knows very well about the greatness of Karbala. For my final poem, which I won't take too much of your time, I want to take you on a journey, not just to the Karbala of today, but to the Karbala of the past. We are not only traveling together right now to the Ziyar of Imam Husain alayhi salam and the holy city of Karbala in this present day, but I want to take you through the history of this amazing city and the history of the grave of our beloved Imam Husain alayhi salam. So close your eyes if you need to, bow your head, and let's go on this journey. Pretend that time isn't a factor here. And I say that my love is not bound by time. You'll find me in all times being drawn to his grave, walking time after time. However the earth spins, whatever time we're in, only one love calls me, and you'll find me beside him. Whatever the clock points to, Whatever year books write to, you'll find me lost in the pages of Karbala's history, a book rich with golden dust, while blood from its pages gushed 1400 years of pain, courage, killing and glory. If I were present before Christ by 10,000, I'd seek out the land of Karbala, and upon its dust I would pray. Though there would not be a grave, its soil I would still crave, because its soil would still recite the details of Hussein's story. Were I born before man, I'd still know of this land. I'll cross the earth, just so upon its soil I could stand. Karbala called my name, I can feel it in the wind. Only one love calls me, and you'll find me beside him. Were time unkind toward me, and for reasons beyond me, I did not hear the call of Husein to cry out Labbaik. Alongside Beni Asad, I'd ensure that the first tears shed upon his grave were from my own eyes, upon his grave were from my own eyes, for my master's sake. I'd help guide Jabir the blind, I'd learn from him and I'd recite, peace be upon the one whose thirst makes the heavens shake. I'll be beside Mukhtar, we'd circle him together, and we'll build a dome above him, for which millions shall ache. A sight to cure the blind, his first glorious shrine. I'd stand there by his door, writing rhyme after rhyme, my hand touching his grave, that fresh stone upon my skin. Only one love calls me, and you'll find me beside him. Were it later I would sit beside Ja'far as-Sadiq and hear hadith after hadith about that holy land. He'd say that every footstep has a Hajj and Umrah in it. Hadith so great that those who narrate them were perceived as mad. No, it wasn't easy, but he pushed it anyway, even when there was fear of death and ziyarah was banned. My true faith only Allah knows, but I wish that I were of those that had no left hand to be cut, so had offered their right hands. Does history not see how great this hatred must be? They punish the pilgrim just like they punish the thief. They can take all they want, they can take limb from limb. Only one love calls me, and you'll find me beside him. Seeking heaven during hell, in the time of Mutawakkil, where pilgrims could be killed just by not hiding their movement. We would hide beneath the daylight and walk carefully by night. No threat of death can deter me from living that moment. We'd reach, feeling that desert cold, and see that Karbala, they destroyed it all. The only way to find his grave was to seek Hussein's scent. We'd find it and we'd lament, his shrine both torn down and burnt. Seeing this or denied its sight, what is a greater torment? I would give my whole world to see his shrine rebuilt, with a glorious dome that stars themselves circle. Denied sight or seeing, which is the greater pain? Only one love calls me, and you'll find me beside him. O land, O city of blood, I ask you how much blood seeps in your dust. I wonder if it rests on sand or upon waves of blood. 12,000 Wahhabi men with flags of Yazid waving stormed Allah's city, killing 4,000 Karbala natives. Our master's shrine they would plunder. No mercy, no surrender. You'd see pregnant women killed, and on their stomachs fetuses. What a visit that would be. Stepping over dead bodies, wading through blood, just to see dead bodies cling to his grave. And when the Ottomans lost their rule, they too would invade and kill all. In the city of death, they butchered 5,000 souls. In the city of God, they dwelled in the worst of sins. Only one love calls me, and you'll find me beside him. Just like Allah revives Husein, in his wisdom, he allows tyrants to wane. In his wisdom, he allows tyrants to reign. I see Mutawakkil brought back to life when Saddam Hussein reigns. I hope that I would risk my life. I hope that I would risk my life walking in those countrysides on the Arba'een when if seen I face execution. I salute Imam Sadiq. I salute Imam Sadiq just for sanctifying it and not denying us our beloved when we could be slain. It's as if death humors us and our master laughs with us when I see that tyrant standing outside his shrine and saying, "You are Husein and I am Husein. I swear that until death, if he earns me my last breath, I'll visit him smiling at the angel of death." How many gave their lives just for a mere visit? Only one love calls me and you'll see me beside him. Oh Allah, keep safe Husein city, whatever time it may be. On his Arba'een, his lovers will come in defiance. Year after year, I'll be there. Even if there is no air, I'll hold my breath and head out. In Allah my reliance. When dead, I'll still yearn its taste. When I'm dead, I will still yearn its taste. And I'll rise up out of my grave just for a few days to bask in Hussein's magnificence. My soul is bound to his shrine. Our love, it transcends both space and time. Karbala is eternal, for it's bound with his triumph. Allah is merciful, and Karbala eternal. Allah created time, but He told Karbala, don't follow. It exists beyond time. All else exists within. Only one love calls me, and you'll find me beside him. My love for Husein, not bound by time. You'll find me in all times, being drawn toward his grave, walking time after time. However the earth spins, whatever time we are in, only one love calls me, and you'll find me beside him. Only one love calls me, and you'll find me beside him. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد.
أحسن صلى على محمد وآل محمد. As we look up to this flag on your right hand side, and we read Assalamu alayka ya Aba Abdullah al-Husayn. Husayn, Husayn. That name that's within our heartbeat, that name that's within our everyday. And there's a beautiful hadith that I wish to share from you. And it's relating to the introduction when I said that tear that comes down your cheek, don't underestimate it. It's a tear that could transform you. But from the words of Imam al-Baqir alayhi salam, who quotes his father Imam al-Sajjad alayhi salam, and for them both, Salla ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad. So Imam Baqir says that Imam al-Sajjad used to say that any believer who weeps for Imam Husayn alayhi salam and his tragedy, such that tears run down his cheek. Any believer who weeps for Imam Husayn alayhi salam and his tragedy, such that tears run down his cheek, Allah, the Almighty, shall accommodate him in paradise. And any believer who wept for us for what we suffered at the hands of our enemy in this world, such that tears run down his cheeks, Allah shall accommodate him in a lofty station. And any believer who suffers hardship in our case, such that he weeps for us and tears run down his cheek, Allah the Almighty shall repel from his face any anguish and protects him from the fire on the day of judgment. So now, I ask you, please do not hold back your tears. They will be the things that salvage you on Yawm al-Qiyamah. And with that we continue our grief, we continue our mourning, we continue our ascensions to Ahl Bayt alayhim as-salam through the words and the poetry of Shabir and Abbas Tejani. We welcome Brother Shabir with the salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
اللهم صل على محمد وعلى صلوا على محمد وآل محمد. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. Respected scholars, distinguished guests, my beloved children, elders, brothers and sisters, Assalamu alaikum jami'an wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I know that you've come from very far, and I know that there's many reciters and time is pressing, so inshallah I'll try and condense my portion of this to as minimalistic as possible. On the day of Ashura, when I think back to it, I think, what is the time that must have been the hardest for Imam al-Husayn alayhi salam? Was it the time when he lifted up the hands of his beloved brother Abbas? Was it the time when he pulled out the spear from the chest of Ali al-Akbar? Was it the time when he picked up those little pieces of Qasim's body? Was it the time when he held the body of Ali al-Asghar and he felt that arrow not only through his neck but also through his own hands? But I think to myself, the hardest time must have been when Imam al-Husayn said his final goodbyes in the tents, in the khayyam of the Ahlul Bayt. Why? According to narrations on the day of Ashura, Bibi Zainab looks at the curtains of her tents, the doors of the tents, and she sees a shadow that she's not familiar with. She thinks to herself, who is here? As she lifts up the curtain, she sees it's her brother. But why can she not recognize him? His neck is bent from lifting body after body after body. His back is broken from the grief of Hazrat Abbas. His vision is fading through the grief of Ali al-Akbar. His face is filled with blood from the blood of Ali al-Asghar. He looks to his sister and he says to her, that time has come. Zainab starts crying. He said, do you remember the time when our mother Fatima told me, Husayn, since the day that Zainab was born, you have been by her side like a shadow. But there'll come a day when that shadow will have to be lifted. He says to Zainab, Zainab, that time has come. Our mother told me to ask you in my final time as I'm leaving you to go and get a shroud, a piece of cloth which is torn in many places. Sayyidah Zainab looks through her belongings. She finds this cloth and Imam Husayn puts it on. Zainab comes up to her brother and she kisses him on the neck. Husayn says, why did you kiss me on the neck? Zainab says that just like our mother gave you a final wasiyah, she gave me a final wasiyah too. She said to me, oh Zainab, when Husayn leaves you for the final time on my behalf, give him a kiss on the neck, because this is the neck that will be cut 12 times the blunted knife of Shiva. As they go into the battlefield, they have one final conversation. Zainab says to her brother, as you stand alone, you're looking left and right. Can I just ask you, as you leave to fight, since I was born, have you ever left my side? As you walk, you'll see my footsteps by your strides. I'm gonna scream aloud as your pure neck is hacked away. I'm gonna see you in my dreams, see you every day, gonna think of you on that road every step of the way. I'm gonna see you in my dreams, see you every day. And this is the heart of a sister. She says to brother, as you walk away, it breaks my heart to see every few steps you to look at me. You are strong enough to handle any grief, but you're broken to leave your family. In the heart of the sister, even though she's dying inside, what does she say? I'm gonna smile at you. Do you know how difficult it is to smile when your heart is broken? I'm gonna smile at you every time you turn to look my way. I'm gonna see you in my dreams, see you every day. As Imam al-Husayn comes up to his horse, he looks towards the river and he sees the body of Abbas. He looks to the battlefield and he sees Ali al-Akbar. He looks to his right, he sees little pieces of Qasim and he says, when you are going to the battlefield, I helped you onto your horse. Who's going to help me today? Zainab runs out to the battlefield. Zainab runs to the battlefield behind her brother and she says, Husein, your Zainab is still here and she's still alive. I will help you onto the horse. If there's no one to prepare you for the war, you know Zainab would give her life for yours. Without any words, I'll kneel down on the floor, and with these hands, I'll help you climb your horse. I'm gonna help you now. I'm gonna help you now. Who will help me after today? See you in my dreams, see you every day. And the final moments come. It is said that at 40 steps, when Imam al-Husayn is under the dagger of Shimr, at 40 steps, his sister is watching. And when Imam al-Husayn is now here, you will read as Imam al-Husayn's neck is being cut, his final thoughts are that of Zainab, and his eyes are fading. He looks at her silhouette. I look for a sign while standing on a mound that you're safe with no enemies around. But my heart shakes and I fall to the ground, watching you lay and making not a sound. I'm gonna run to you to protect you on the burning plains. I'm gonna see you in my dreams, see you every day. And after Imam al-Husayn had bid farewell to Sayyidah Zainab, he calls out his 4-year-old daughter Sakina. He tells Sakina, embrace your aunt, because after today she will be looking after you. He says to Zainab, Zainab, I'm leaving you with this amana, please look after her. What can Zainab do in the bazaar of Sham when Sakina is being slapped and whipped? Zainab herself is in chains. Sakina says to Zainab, Zainab, my aunt, every time you stand up, my neck is being strangled. This is the same Sakina. Zainab says to Husayn, you have left me with a gift I must return. A little princess, for years who you had yearned. She will be slapped, a body will be burned. She will die in pain. does she do? I'm gonna lay her slowly into a dark and empty grave. I'm gonna see you in my dreams, see you every day, see you every day, see you every day. Mama Husein climbs onto his horse. As he tells Zuljana, head to the battlefield. One last time. You've gone 72 times, but one last time for your master Husein, go to the battlefield. Zuljana tries to move forward, he can't. Husein says, oh Zuljana, I know that you're covered in blood just like me. Zuljana was crying, I know you're crying just like me. One final time, one zahmat, one final time. Take me to this battlefield and I will not give you any more trouble. Zuljana, with the tears in his eyes, he looks down to his feet. Zuljana looks down to his feet. Husein looks down to the feet of Zuljana and he sees a 4-year-old girl clutching the hoof of Zuljana as if her life depended on it. Oh fate, what a heavy blow you've dealt this girl, because her life really did depend on it. Husein comes down, Sakina says, don't forget, this is Sakina. Imam Husein alayhi salam, for many, many years had prayed in his namaz, shoved every night for a daughter like Sakina. This is no ordinary girl. Sakina says to her father, oh father, I know why you're going to the battlefield. Everyone who's gone has not come back. Oh father, since the day I was born, I have not been able to sleep unless it's been on your chest. Father, for the final time, let me sleep on your chest. In some narrations it is said that the hardest time that some of the narrators saw in Karbala was that final embrace between Imam al-Husayn and Sakina, where Sakina says, no matter what trials I face, the memory won't be erased. Oh Father, the final embrace. I will not forget this day, or the moment that we parted ways. Oh Father, the final embrace. In the desert where you would die, we cried in each other's arms. Forever we would be apart, 'cause my fate would be the prison of Sham. We both will be bloodied and bruised and buried without a shroud. The only difference is I will have no loved ones around, 'cause a dark and secluded jail, thousands of miles away, a dark and secluded jail is my ultimate resting place. Father, the final embrace. I crawled on my hands and knees. What does someone who's desperate do? They crawl on their hands and knees. I crawled on my hands and knees and clung on to your horse's hooves. I cried and I pleaded with him to stay still and not to move. Please don't take my father away. I can't sleep without his chest. He has been left all alone. Please don't take him to his death. quick to rush this on. What did Imam al-Husayn do? You got off your horse and smiled, then opened your arms to me. I ran into your embrace and held you so lovingly. I said, if you have to go, I have got one last request. For only a little while, please let me sleep on your chest. You got off immediately. You laid on the burning sands without uttering a phrase. Oh Father, the final embrace. It is said that when this 4-year-old daughter of Imam al-Husayn put her head on her father's chest, for a few moments, she suddenly woke up in a shock. She said to her father, Father, go, please go to the battlefield. Husayn says to his daughter, he says, Sakina, you came all the way to the horse on your hands and knees, you grabbed the horse's legs, you told me to come down and you told me to put you on my chest, and you're going to say goodbye to me like this? Sakina says, oh father, when I closed my eyes, I saw my grandmother Fatima. I saw my grandmother Fatima, and she says, oh Sakina, let Husayn go. For right now, you are on his chest. In a few moments, he will be on my chest. When he comes under the dagger of Shimar, he will be on my chest. Let him go. Sakina wakes up, she says to her father, go. I place my head on your chest. No matter what trials I face, the memory won't be erased. Oh Father, the final embrace. I placed my head on your chest, and as my eyes shut, I saw a lady dressed all in black. She cried out, let my son go. He may cradle you right now, but soon I will cradle him. When he falls from that great height and brutally will be killed, I got off immediately. In my eyes I said, Father, the final embrace. Final, just want to give you one final trouble. And listen to this with all of your hearts, tears running down your face. If you have to close your eyes and imagine this, imagine this. When Imam al-Husayn placed Sakina on his chest for the final time, that wasn't the final time that these two met. There were 3 more times when the roles were reversed, when Sakina put Imam al-Husayn's head on her chest. One was on the night of Sham-e Ghariba, when Shimr came to the tent and threw the head of Husayn in her laps. The second time was in the darbar of Yazid. Yazid said, oh little girl, 4-year-old girl, I heard your father's very close to you. Let's see how strong your love is. Sakina held out her little arms and Husayn's head came flying into her. She held onto his head and she cried and she was being slapped and she continued to hold on. But then one final night came. One final night came. It was dark. Yazid was in his palace. There was silence within the prisons, and suddenly a little girl started screaming. She started crying and screaming. Zainab says, oh Sakina, why are you crying so much? Sakina says, I saw my father in my dream and he said he's coming to me. He said, you're coming to me very soon. Sakina cried and cried. Yazid woke up. He goes to his guards, what is this crying sound? The guard said, that 4-year-old girl of Husein is crying. Yazid said, you know what? Let's shut her mouth. Let's keep her quiet. Give her the head of her father. Give her the head of her father. The doors of the prison opened. The guards came in. The head of Husein was given to Sakina. Sakina cuddled his head so hard and cried so much that slowly her little breaths ebbed and withered away until she was breathing no more. Father, the final embrace, the dark nights of the prison. Dark nights of the prison, a place I will not forget. In my final moments there, I missed you so much and went to silence my endless cries. Your killers returned your hand. I held your head to my chest. I then shut my eyes and slept. My heart finally, what did she say? My heart finally at peace. I never awoke again. Oh Father, the final embrace. May Sayyida Fatima accept your tears. May your du'as be accepted through the wasila of Bab al-Hawaij, who is no doubt here. Just want to ask for one final du'a, which is that, as Brother Sardar mentioned, the roads of Sham have been shut for a while now. People go in drips and drabs. There used to be a time when we used to say to Bibi Sakina, oh Sakina, your father, just like you, was battered and bruised. Oh Sakina, your father, just like you, was buried without a shroud. But there's only one difference. And don't forget, this is a daughter who's only 4 years old. She's miles and miles away from her father. Oh Sakina, there's one thing that we, the lovers of the Ahlul Bayt, will do for you. Your father is surrounded by 72 of his companions. He's got company around him. You're all alone within the depths of a dungeon. We are coming to be by your side. We're going to give you company. If there's no light inside your grave, we're going to light a small candle if we have to. And we're going to weep and give you consolation. And even that has stopped now. This is a mazluma. We pray that may the roads of Sham be opened up. And finally, I just want to extend my gratitude to this establishment of the Evening of Grief and Sorrow. As Brother Sadiq mentioned, the aim is to keep alive and burning the flame of the love of Imam al-Husayn alayhi salam and the grief and the mourning of Imam al-Husayn alayhi salam. I've seen people here who do not speak English as a first language, mourning and crying and beating their heads. So do not think that the language of English is a secondary language. We can do a lot through this medium. And I would like to thank all of you who have taken your time to come here, and all the reciters who spent hours traveling and preparing for this program, for your efforts. And we pray that as the army of Imam al-Mahdi alayhi salam, that may our efforts be accepted, and may these tears be the wasila for us to be standing by his side on that fateful day, inshallah. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد وعجل فرجهم. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد
Dear brothers and sisters, we head into the Masa'ib for this evening as if what we've heard hasn't been the Masa'ib. So we continue the Masa'ib for this evening, and inshallah we will take a journey through three women. We'll go through the women of Karbala, and we wish to take you through perhaps their state of mind, their strength, yet their emotions equally so. So whilst I know it may be warm, and I know you may feel uncomfortable, and I know you may be cramped, and I know whatever it may be, this discomfort, I ask you to overcome it, to reconnect, to keep that focus, because again, tonight could be the night where you use one of these individuals as your vehicle to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Humble our hearts, and we humble our tears, and we start with a salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. And we start with the innocence of Ruqayya, which we have heard. We start with this innocence of Ruqayya, the realization of no return, the orphan. And I ask you this, my dear brothers and sisters, if the piece about Ruqayya has not broken your hearts enough, I ask you this, those cheeks of Ruqayya, the soft cheeks of a 3-4-year-old daughter, young girl, I ask you, those soft cheeks, those cheeks that embrace the lips of Ali Muhammad, those cheeks that would be hugged and caressed by Husein, are now touched and slapped by the killer of her father. A house without Sakina would not be worth living in, Abu Abdullah Husayn said. So I asked this question back, oh Husayn, oh Imam, what about a house without you or your young daughter? And I ask you this, oh Imam, how did you deal with the farewell to your dear daughter?
As she is sleeping in the depths of the dungeons, she sees her father Husein in the dreams, and she says, "Take me with you, take me with you. How can you leave me here all on my own? Tears on my cheek, tears on my cheek. How will I live this life when you're all gone? Father, tell me, what do I need to do to come with you? Without you I can't breathe. Take me with you, take me with you. Why did you leave? Why did you leave? Darkness consumes my heart, I feel so weak. I'm all alone, I'm all alone. No one to wipe my tears, I need you here. Father, I swear, words can't describe my pain, all my fears. I pray to see you again. Why did you leave? Father, I swear, words can't describe
looks around and she notices no protector, she notices no Abbas. And I ask you this, when we say that someone is a prisoner, not a guest, a prisoner, how are they treated? What are the stories that we hear from Iraq about being a prisoner, about the torture and the pain? Tell me what it's like to be a prisoner. We say this word lonely, yet that loneliness is deafening. And any sound can ignite something within you, a scare, a frightening moment, that loneliness, that deathly sound within that dungeon. Tell me, when she heard the cries of Ruqayya, how did Zainab keep her stance? How did Zainab avoid shaking? And I remind you of this, that this was no general lady, this was no random lady, this was the daughter of Amir al-Mu'mineen Ali ibn Abi Talib. Tell me how, if you were with the daughter of Amir al-Mu'mineen, how would you treat her? This is Zainab.
On the day of Ashura, when all the companions, the family of the Prophet had left, Imam al-Husain alayhi salam turned left and right. He sees all his brothers, his companions, his children all slain on the plains of Karbala. This is when he cries out, Hal min nasirin yansuruna. Is there anyone to help us? But this cry wasn't for him. He didn't ask for help for him. He said, is there anyone to help the women of Karbala? Is there anyone to help my sister Zainab? After he made the final farewell to his sister Zainab, his wife, his children, he goes towards the battle. As he is riding the horse, his final farewell, there comes a cry from behind him. He hears his sister Zainab say, oh wait, oh Aba Abdullah, my sister Zainab, you have broken my heart. What is it that you want right now? I've already said my farewells to you and the children. She says, oh Husein, oh brother, oh my love, there is one request I must fulfill. On a day like this, my mother Fatima Zahra said to me, when you see Husein lonely on the plains of Karbala, when you see him lonely, make sure that you fulfill one request. He will ride his horse, ask him to come back. Why, oh Zainab? Why, oh mother Fatima Zahra? She said, these two things I need you to do. Kiss him on the chest, kiss him on the neck. Husayn says, why? Zainab says, that's when I kiss you on the chest. These are the chest, this is the chest that the horses will trample. And I kiss this neck because this is the neck that Shimmer will sit on the chest and sever. Ali's daughter, I was so loved and served as best can be. Now Shimmer slaps me on the face. Oh, Abbas, did you see? Nowhere to hide, the children run, they hit and cry and flee. So Cain pulls me by my side. Why has Abbas left me? Oh night, why do you hurt me so? On us you've left no veil. Layla, Rababa, and all the ladies cry and shake and wail. I'm all to shine, they make my trail.
And the time comes when the caravan of Al Muhammad return to Medina. They come back and Bishr the poet starts announcing after Imam Sajjad asked him to tell the people that what has happened, and he tells them that they've all been killed. Al Muhammad returned as prisoners, at which point al-Baneen Salamullahi alayha comes out and asks Bishr a series of questions. Oh Bishr, tell me about Husein. To which he replies, oh lady, I ask you and I forgive you, forgive me. Bishr replies and says, may Allah have mercy on you for the demise of your son. And she says, oh Bishr, tell me about Husein. And for a second time Bishr replies and says, may Allah have mercy on you for the death of your second son and third son and fourth son. At which point Bishr then says that I give you the news and the condolence, O Lady al-Baneen, upon the passing of Aba Abdillah. My dearest brothers and sisters, I ask you this: when Zainab returns home and al-Baneen sees Zainab for the first time, what is their conversation? Does al-Baneen say, wa Abbas? And does Zainab say, wa Husein? Who says which? Who goes first? What is the conversation between al-Baneen and Zainab? How does al-Baneen alayha salam lament?
My whole life I've raised sons, but for you Husein I'd give them all. And I know for Zahra I would do the same. I'd give my soul. On Karbala's sons, Abbas lost both hands, arrow wedged in eye. Zainab starts to cry. I do it again, all the hurt and pain for Husein. And I know as I wait, when the news arrives, my heart will break. I see Zainab's face I don't recognize. Then I'm hit with fate, see it in her eyes, all the hurt and pain. My Abbas has been slain with Husein. And I know time it heals, but this hurt I feel will never end, will never end, will never end.
And I ask you about this Zainab who is able to give condolences to each and every person in Karbala. But I ask Zainab alayhi salam, when we get used to things, sometimes it gets a bit easier. Sometimes it gets a bit easier. But Zainab, how did you deal with the strike upon your mother's face when the door fell upon her? Oh Zainab, how did you deal with the passing of the brother of yours who you never met, Prince Mohsin alayhi salam? Oh Sayyida Zainab, how did you deal with the strike upon your father's head? Oh Zainab, how did you deal with the regurgitated liver of Al-Hassan alayhi salam? How did you deal with the arrows that went into his coffin as he went to be buried? Oh Sayyida Zainab, how did you deal with what you saw from Tilla Zainabiyya? Oh Zainab, how did you deal with the loss of Awn and Muhammad and seeing their empty beds? But my dear brothers and sisters, I could go on and on and on and on and on, and you know this. But one last thing I ask you. On behalf of us to Sayyida Zainab, how, oh Sayyida Zainab, how did you look a mother in the eye and give your condolences to her when she was told that her 6-month-old baby had an arrow in his neck and was unable to be fed before he died? I ask you, oh Sayyid Zainab, how did you pluck up the strength at that moment to look her in the eye and say, may Allah have mercy on you? For we'll now stand for the martyr, and I ask you this, please. If at every single time that hand touches your chest, pledge another allegiance to Aba Abdullah, and do not be fearful in raising your voice, for we'll say, in light of that dear mother Rabab, oh my Lord, don't let this be. When Rabab thinks and says, oh my Lord, don't let this be a 6-month-old's tragedy. I want to hug my baby, Ali, Ali, Ali. Oh my Lord, don't let this be a 6-month-old's tragedy. I want to hug my baby, Ali, Ali, Ali. I can't hear his cries, no. I can't see his neck, no. Raising your lines efficiently, if you'd be so kind. Please stand for the azar of Aba Abdullah. Go into your lines, be ready to pledge your voices to him. We start with 3 salawat that are going to shake this center and shake your souls. Aflaha man salla ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.